What's up, y'all? Let's talk about somatic writing for a minute. So first off, what is somatic writing? Well, I mean, put simply, it's embodied writing, or writing that comes from the body. You see, most folks they often think of writing as coming from the brain or coming from the mind, but the reality is it's only partly true, or it's largely true of like bad or boring writing. But strong writing, writing that inspires, it stems first from the body. Okay, writing that does this, it's what we call somatic writing. Somatic writing comes from the soul and the inner voice through the body, and it not only connects the reader and allows the reader to feel, but it helps the author connect to their own creative flow more fully and slash or release negative energies that may be blocking them. So there's a few rules to somatic writing. First is it's what I like to call like wild writing, right? By this I mean like it comes from your intuition, right? There's no filter, there's no judgment, there's no second guessing, there's no like teacher in your ear telling you you need a comma or you need this, right? There's no crossing out. It's wild. It is just whatever you're feeling at the time, right? A second rule for it, really, it's a start. Actually, this one you can bend a little bit as you get a little bit better, but it's to write by hand, right? Writing on a phone or tablet or computer, they all have their place, but the medium that you write in, it mediates. Essentially, that's what it does. It mediates your body, and so in somatic writing, it's important for there to be as little mediation as possible between our body and the page, right? So those are the three main rules. There's some other things, right? But it's just the big thing is no judgment, no second guessing, no filter. This is stuff that is stemming words that are coming straight from you, right? And that takes practice to create that space, right? To create that judgment-free space in your mind so that you allow your body to write. Because we need to connect to our body, and we can only do that from that judgment-free space, right? But this can look like many things to cultivate that space. So how do we cultivate that space, right? How do we connect to our bodies? Well, quite simply, we need to have a sensual experience. We need to have a bodily experience. That can look like a lot of things, right? I mean, that can look like standing in the rain with no umbrella and like watch it, having the rain fall on our face, right? Rolling down a hill or lying naked on sharp gravel or sliding down a carpeted stairs on your butt, or like, wading into a river or letting your feet, letting the grass touch between your feet as you walk on your lawn. There's so many different ways to experience bodily emotions and bodily sensations, right? Somatic writing depends on these things. It depends not only on feeling them, but on feeling into them and then translating those feelings onto the page, right? Which is why we're writing by hand at first. So there's, like I said, there's as little mediation as possible. So a sensual experience in any particular way, right? Breath work is helpful to this. It's helpful to help us connect to our heart. So you can practice pranayama breath work, visualizations, right? When we practice breath work, when we connect to our heart and we vocalize and breathe as we explore, we can find our voice, right? We can find out who we are, and we can connect to our breath. We can connect to our heart. We can connect to our bellies, right? And it will help you figure out what to say and how to say it. So I'm going to put some breath work suggestions for breath work below here. Try them. There's also many, many others, but try one of them or one that suits you, because doing that sort of practice can really help you become embodied, right? And then you will learn to feel into those emotions and feel into what your body's actually feeling, so that you can translate that on your page, right? Or translate that onto the page. So, there's a lot of other ways as well, right? But it all starts with tuning into your body, right? Tuning into your ligaments. Are your ankles unstable? Do you give in too easily without standing up to yourself? Are your muscles tight? Do you get defensive and stubbornly hold on to beliefs when you're presented with facts that, maybe you should let go, we should let go of? What truths do you keep hidden from your body? There's a lot of strengthening and stability exercises that we can do that will help us envision standing our ground in our boundaries, right? And so these ways can show up in our writing as well. Another way really is, if we think about, those are all present ways, right? Those are all ways that I'm asking you to to roll down a hill, or to do practice breath work, or to visualize, get into a power stance. I don't know if you've seen any of and Tony Robbins, like any of Tony Robbins' power stances, but like some of his power stances, you get into some of his power stances can be really, really beneficial to learning how to embody power into our body. And then we write from that powerful space. It can be really, really beneficial. In Memoir, right, when we're thinking about a specific event in our life, we're thinking about the past, right? And so practices like meditation, or like I said above, breath work or visualization, right, can help place you in the moment. And so once you learn how to do all those things I'm talking about in the present, maybe you lie down on the grass and you feel the grass on your back and on your neck, and you visualize that, and then you write about it. Once you're able to do that in the present, it's a little easier to go to the past and think through those memories, right? Because we have to feel into our own memories. We have to feel into the emotions of a moment that was 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago maybe. We have to feel what our stomach felt like. What did our hands feel like? What did our head feel like? What did our heart feel like? To feel into those emotions and do our best to just describe them as we remember them, right? And now, one way to do that is to look at the present and think about, okay, well, I may not remember exactly what my heart felt like, or I may not remember exactly what my head felt like in that moment, but I know other time, maybe it's a moment of anxiety, right? I know what my body feels like when I'm feeling anxious. I get whirlpools and butterflies in my stomach, and it all swirls around, right? And so probably that's what I was feeling back then, right? And so you can write into that space. So that's why it's really important to be in touch with, or to feel into the way your body's feeling at that moment, in the present moment, so that when you're talking about the past, you can harken back to this important memory that you're thinking of, right? It boils down to this, right? Somatic writing, it's all about the body. When you begin with the body, and I don't know if anyone's ever read like The Body Keeps the Score. It's a wonderful book. This isn't a therapy class, but like it's a wonderful book that sheds some scientific light into what I'm about to say next. What is like when we begin with the body, we not only become stronger writers, but we can also begin to release some of the trauma and memories stored in those emotions by putting them on the page, right? Because all of the events that we've experienced in the past, we store that in our bodies somewhere, and it manifests as all different sorts of things, some positive, some negative, right? Or we think of them as positive or negative. But feeling into those spaces in the present and also those past memories can help you, like I said, it can help you release them onto the page for a little while. And so it can provide a little bit of a therapeutic release if that's something that you're looking for. All right, so yeah, this week I really just want you to explore in a variety of ways. Go out and do something. Get into a power pose. Go feel into your body in various ways. Have a sensual experience, and then write about it. Practice some breath work. Do any one of those things that I mentioned. Go do them, and then write from that space. Yeah, have fun.